All right. Hey, everybody. Not sure if I'm live yet or not, but we'll find out. We'll see if YouTube has caught up to me yet. Come on, YouTube. Hurry up. Show me some video. Talk to me. Ah, there we go. Cool. We're live. Hey, Dave. How's it going? Welcome to the show. Dave says, hello, Drew. How you everybody doing? Oh, let me see if I can get my bearings straight. Hey everybody, and welcome to Misfit Corner Scams. We are live streaming. And here's Avery. Let me pull him in real quick. Hey buddy. Avery.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? You sure? You sure you can't hear me? Because I'm coming through the live stream.
I hear you now.
You hear me now? Okay. Excellent. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm all right.
Yeah? I heard you had some adventures recently. Yeah, we'll talk later. But,
Still ongoing.
Yeah. My wife and I had some of the same exact type of adventures. So.
I was tired last night, and I just wanted to leave, so I just put in the note. I said bye in the private chat and left.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, where'd he go? I didn't even get a chance to talk to you.
I was just like, I was so tired. My back was hurting.
I understand that completely.
Like, I don't care. I'm going to leave.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you were able to join this evening. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and say hello to everybody else who was able to join. We'll start from the top.
Hello.
We've got Dave here. Dave says, hello, Drew. Welcome to the show, Dave. Craig's here. Hey, Craig, how's it going? That's the man I make videos for right there. It's Craig. we got a private little joke going back and forth, he and I. So, Funny Guy Media Scam Baiting says, hey, welcome to the show. Hold on a second. I have got to increase the size of the screen so I can actually read these things. Glenn's here. Glenn says, hey, I have to admit it. I've been harassing my diabetic testing supply scammers for at least 6 hours this week until my Betty Garcia voice. Using my Betty Garcia voice. Someone on their end changed my name from Mike Hunt. Very good. I haven't tried any of those funny pseudonyms that a lot of people recommend. I mean, Timothy Williams is probably my all-time favorite because they have such a hard time saying Timothy or even being able to spell Timothy. But I've never tried using like a silly name like that. But if you can get them to believe it and go with it, that's awesome. Manuel's here. Hey, Manuel, how's it going, my friend? He says, good evening, Drew. Dave says, Drew, is it true you received 40 calls in one day from scammers? There's times I receive more than that. I mean, heck. Today, which is a Saturday, let me just look real quick and see what all I got. Because I didn't answer them all. Or actually, I did answer them all. I didn't speak to anybody. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. And today's a Saturday, which is really slow. Saturdays are usually very slow. But yeah, 40 calls is not unusual for me. Now, 40 actually speaking to a scammer, that would be a lot. Probably on a regular basis, I get anywhere from 25 to 35 calls a day. And of those, I probably speak to 10 to 15 people. A lot of them are just dead air. Nobody's there. What I always assume with those is that they're just testing the number to see if somebody will pick up. And then they recycle it amongst themselves. I get a lot of the hang-up ones. But talking to an actual person, 10 to 15 a day, easy when it comes to these calls. So, yeah, lucky me.
You're so fortunate.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Guys, I know I recently did a Comcast. Let me read him. Funny Guy Media's. He says, hey, Emmanuel, my good friend. Excellent. I recently put out a video. It was almost 35 minutes long, where it was actually several calls with the Comcast scammers. And if you've heard the video, the last 5 minutes is the guys just cursing me out. F you this and F you that and F you this. They literally called back again. like 2 days later. I literally have another recording. Now, it was very short. The guy wanted to confirm my checkbook information, so I know it's the same group of scammers because they're the ones that have my check information, which, by the way, is all made up. And I confirmed the information, and then he hung up on me. So I'm assuming he figured it out. But the fact is, they're still calling. The Lord giveth,
They love you.
I guess so. I mean, they're never going to get any money from me, but they keep trying. So I find it so hilarious. Then again, I always think if they're scamming me or they're trying to scam me, they're not busy scamming somebody else. So if I can waste their time, I'm doing it for the benefit of somebody else. I may not know who you are, but if you're not,
but he's looking out for you.
That's right. I'm looking out for you. Let me see. Manuel says, hey, Jaguars, the Dallas Cowboys playing right now in preseason. Yep. I watched a little bit of the game. I listened to like the first quarter or so on the radio while I was coming back home from the store. And I watched some of it when I got home. It's preseason. I mean, they're going to do their thing, but it's not something. I'm not going to wear the wig for a preseason victory. That's all I'm saying. But when the regular season starts and the Jags start kicking ass and we start kicking ass and taking names and we win, I'll be wearing the whole accoutrements. So actually, wait a minute. Most of the Jaguar games, there's like maybe 3 that aren't on Sundays. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see about during the live stream. I'm sure Avery would greatly want to see me wearing a wig. He's thinking to himself, I wish you would quit dragging me into this part of the conversation. I do it for you, though. I do it for you. You and you alone.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let me catch up. Justing76 says, good evening, Jacksonville. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Glenn says, I think I started using Mike Oxlong as my new name. Mike Oxlong.
Mike Oxlong.
Oh. I was gonna get there, Avery. I was gonna get there eventually.
I got there eventually.
Yep, that's what she said. Okay. Dave says, hello, Avery.
Hello.
Eric's here, and he says, hello. Hi, Drew. Welcome to the show, Eric. Jim says, hi, all. Welcome to the show, Jim. Manuel says, good evening, my buddy, funny media scam baits. Sanviral says, good evening, Drew. Welcome to the show. Jim says, hello, all. Rosie's here. Hey, Rosie, how's it going? Hugs. Hello, everybody. Hugs. Berths is here. Good evening. Thanks to you and all the fellow scam baiters. I handled another scam call this week. Fantastic. Waste as much of their time as possible and have fun doing it. That's what I always say. I actually had my very first customer this morning is an older guy, an older gentleman who was familiar with my scam channel. And he came in and he was so excited to tell me about a scam call he got that he got to screw with them about it. Avery, let me tell you what he said. It's kind of funny. It was one of the ones where they call up and they say, hey, we're calling about your phone service or your cable service. And we're going to give you like a $40 or $50 discount. And he says to him, I feel very generous right now. Why not, instead of giving me the discount, you go ahead and take the money and take your significant other out for dinner. But what he says is, if it's a guy that's doing it, he tells them to take their husband out. And if it's a lady saying it, he tells them to take your wife out. And you could imagine how they don't like that very much.
Yeah.
They're not fans of that. And he does it on purpose just to tick them off. And I'm like, very good. Good job. But he listens to my scam calls, and we joke and talk about them all the time. So
nice.
It's fun. Let's see here. Eric says, calling from Pierre, South Dakota. Okay, South Dakota. I used to work for a company that had their main location was in South Dakota, and I actually visited South Dakota once on a work-related trip. One time, probably 15 years ago, and my wife will not allow me to travel for work again. Not work. She'll let me go to conventions and stuff like that, but she won't let me travel for work because at the time the kids were young, very young, and she drove me to the airport. I got off, took the plane, went to South Dakota. She left the airport, went to the grocery, slipped and fell and broke her ankle. So the entire week that I was gone, she was in a cast with crutches and home alone with the kids, and I felt so guilty. I mean, because I'm the one that left, and so that was my experience in South Dakota. Well, anyway, welcome, Rick. I mean, Eric. Rick, where am I getting this from? Welcome, Eric, to the show. Manuel says it was a long, boring story about nothing. I've got lots of those, guys, just so you know. Manuel says, hey, my good live stream yesterday, my friend. Fun guy, media scam baiters. Very good, very good. Fun guy media says, thanks, Manuel. Manuel says, good evening, Rosie. Rosie Edge, happy Saturday. I think he means Rosie's Cottage. Sandviral says, I wonder if they target Florida more since it's a large elderly population. It's a good possibility. It's a good possibility, but I know they do scam calls all over the country. So I've seen a lot of comments from people in different areas of the country, and everybody gets them. Now, probably Florida because of the elderly population, because that is their number one targets. But I'm pretty sure they're equal opportunity scammers. They will scam anybody in any state. So Rosie says hello to Manuel. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Hugs. Manuel says good evening to Rosie's Cottage. Happy Saturday. Eric says my first time here on live. Well, thank you very much for coming. Glenn says I got lots of Hilton resort calls this week. I haven't gotten one of those in a long time. I have gotten them before, but not in a long time. I mean, the majority of the calls I get, Medicare, final expense insurance. I'm getting more and more of the cable provider, electric provider ones. The solar panel ones have started to slow down. I was getting those like all the damn time, but they've started to slow up. So that's good because they're freaking annoying. Actually, they're all annoying, but I love it. So, but yeah. Actually, there's a couple of new ones that I've gotten. I got one calling about they were targeting people on Medicare, elderly people on Medicare, which I'm their target audience right there. And they're calling about new medical provider centers here in town, and I've never been able to get one to tell me where it's actually located. Because I usually ask them, well, how did you get my number? And the reaction's what you kind of expect from scammers. But I got a video, I believe it's going up tomorrow with a couple of those calls. But that's the newest one I've been starting to get is this one. And, they all have foreign or Indian accents. And the number is usually a local number. And I've actually called it back and gotten very interesting responses. Most of the time, the number either just immediately hangs up or it just rings and nobody picks up, or it doesn't go through to anybody, doesn't even ring. So that usually is an indication that they've blocked your number or whatnot. But yeah, it's weird. Manuel says, my friend, fun guy, media scam baiters, he scam waste time. Well, very good. Eric says, LOL. Star Chaser's here. Hey, Star Chaser says hello to all. And Rick's in the house. Canada is representing this evening. Hey, Rick, how's it going? He says hi to all. Eric says, yes, waste their time. Oh, I do that a lot. At least I try. Jim R. says, I got a scam call this week from someone claiming to be American Security Services, trying to sell me a security system. My mother-in-law just recently got one of those on the home phone. And she literally just blew him off and said, I'm not interested. Thank you very much. And hung up on him. And I told her, I said, if they ever call you about a security system, never, ever, ever tell them you don't have one. Don't if you're going to say anything to them, say, is what you're going to provide for me better than the state of the art motion detector, laser guided system that I have already? You never, ever, ever want to tell them that you don't have a system. You say, I don't have one. I don't need one. Don't. That's never the response you should give them. You always, if as far as anybody calling you up on the phone knows, you have the best damn security system money can buy. Elon Musk would be jealous of the security system that you have guarding your house. That's how you got to handle it, because you never, ever, ever want to tell these pieces of crap that, no, I don't have one, or I'm thinking about getting one. And no, 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 no. Elon Musk, jealous. Remember those two things. Right, Avery? Oh, I know what your security system is like.
Yeah, my security system provided by Crinks.
my wife's grandmother used to have the the little security system sign, and it was a Smith and Wesson. Uh-huh. I always liked that.
I like the one that says provided by Crinks, even though I don't actually have a Crink. I want one.
Bottom line is, you have the best damn security system in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mikhail Kalashnikov would be proud.
Yes, he would. Manuel says, good evening to Glenn. Happy Saturday. Darlene's here. Hey, Darlene, how's it going? She says, hi, everybody. Rosie says, welcome, Eric. This is such a fun chat every week. Nice to meet you. Absolutely. Rosie says hi to Darlene, sends her a virtual hug. And Manuel says hello to Darlene. Good evening. B. Bernie B says hello from Long Beach, California, and 81 degrees. Actually, 81 degrees right now would be frickin' pleasant. It is. We are gone. I think we're on day 4 of 110 to 115 feels like temperature outside.
Yeah.
It is ugly out there.
It doesn't get in the 80s till in the middle of the night.
Yeah. But the sun's still up right now. It's still not even gone down, so it's probably still in the low 90s right now. But man, 80s would be nice right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there soon. Fingers crossed. I hate to say it, I'm missing out. We need a hurricane. We need that cool weather that hurricanes bring. Have you ever noticed how wonderful the weather is right before a hurricane?
Yeah, because it blows all the bullshit out of the way before it gets there.
It feels so good because there's usually nothing happening, and it's not as hot, but there's nothing happening, and it's very calm. The idea of calm before the storm. It is very much a true thing, and it, especially when it's getting dusk out, it's like the light outside is like a low orange, and everything is just so super calm. It's actually rather frightening, but we've experienced that several times, having lived here for so long. But driving in it is what's really freaky when the sun is setting and it's like the whole sky is orange. And it's calm. There's no wind. There's no clouds. No nothing. It's just, whew. We haven't. I got to knock on wood. There's got to be wood around here somewhere. Right? There we go. We have had nothing so far this hurricane season. Nothing. And I guess we can blame global warming. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Avery, you're supposed to yell at me and say, don't go there.
It's all weather control, man.
Somebody's controlling it, right? Manuel says to Bernie B, good evening and happy Saturday. He also says hello to Eric. Rosie says to Bernie B, 81 degrees, good grief, will melt. It's 15 degrees Celsius, 59 degrees Fahrenheit here right now, and that's tropical for Scotland. 59 sounds fantastic. I would not complain. I would not sneeze or complain about that in the least. So, Darlene says, I keep getting calls from the Jehovah Witness group. Really? I tell them I am not interested in joining their cult and hang up. Also, has anyone heard of Dinata? I keep getting those calls. That's not one I'm familiar with. Dinata. So what kind of thing is that? Is it? I have no idea. Darlene, tell us. Manuel says weather in Louisiana is 94 degrees. Yeah, he's living it up just like we are. Rosie says 94 degrees, Manuel. Please be careful. That's so dangerous. How do you all cope with those temperatures? Wish I could send some of our rainy, cold days to you. You want to know how we deal with it, Rosie? We stay inside.
Yeah.
We stay inside with the AC. If we leave the house, we run to the car, we crank up the AC, and we leave the AC on the entire time. And that's it. I am very lucky in the fact that my store at the flea market, it's a very small store, but it has a closed front, which means it has windows and doors in the front. Most retailers at the flea market have those rolling doors, like a garage door. My store at one point was finished in the front because it used to be a barber shop. So
Mm-hmm.
they had a closed door, which means in the back, I have a small single AC unit. And granted, it's a unit that would be considered for a one room, and my store's is probably about 2.5 to 3 rooms large. So it's not the greatest thing, but it's better than nothing. And I get so many people that walk into the store and they're like, "Oh God, this feels so good." And
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I'm very appreciative of the fact that I have that available to me, and they charge me a little more every month for using the AC. And you know what? It's damn worth it. So, all right, another rant done. Manuel says, "Good evening to Star Chaser." Sandviral says to Darlene, "Never heard of those yet." Okay, I'm sure if I get down, I'll probably get to where she tells us what it's about. Manuel says, "Good evening to Jim." Rosie says, "Oh my gosh, Drew, I would never have thought of that." Well, when it comes to these people, you actually don't know who's calling, and you don't know what they're calling about. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know who they are, and if they're calling to say, "Hey, I'm going to offer you a home security system," if you're like, "Oh, I don't have one. Tell me more about it," they go, "They don't have one. Let me write that down." Yeah, it's best that people do not know what you have in your home. One of those rules, I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of this, but they tell you, especially around the holidays when people buy large items, if you buy like a TV, a flat screen TV, they tell you, do not take the box and put it out of the trash right away. Because right after the holidays, people will go through neighborhoods and look around and see what kind of boxes are being thrown out. And they literally know what you have in your home. What they tell you to do is if you buy a new TV, you should hold on to the box for a couple of weeks. Well, the first rule of that is that if something happens and you have to return it, you want to send it back in the original box. The second rule is when you're keeping the TV, you don't put the box out at the trash right away. And when you do, you cut it up, either put it in bags or put it in the trash. You don't just take the box and put it by the street corner. You're literally advertising to people that are going through your neighborhood what you have in your home.
Yeah. Rob this place.
That's right. That's right. So you never want to advertise to people what you have in your home. You don't want to tell them what kind of security system. You don't want to say that you don't have a security system. You don't want to put those large boxes out on the street corner. It's if you like right after Christmas, if you drive down your neighborhood on trash day, you can literally see all the people advertising what they have in their home to thieves. You don't want to do that. So that's my little rule tip of the day. I'm sure a lot of people already knew this, but we found it out. We found out when we bought our TV, one of our TVs from Best Buy. The guy was telling us, whatever you do, hold on to the box for a couple of weeks, and when you put it out in the trash, cut it up. Don't put it out advertising to people that you have a new TV. So it's just a good rule of thumb. So. Manuel says hello to San Viral. Good evening and happy Saturday night. Glenn says 80 degrees in Longmont, Colorado at 6:15. 80 degrees at 6:15 at night. That's not too bad. That's nicer than right here right now, but that's good. San Viral says thank you to Manuel. Justin76 says, I got a call from Medicare where where they would pick you up and take you to an office The call center is in the Philippines. Oh, really? Okay. I haven't gotten that one where they've offered to drive me around. I have gotten the one where they offer to help pay for transportation. And I always, from time to time, I'll ask them, does that mean you're going to buy me a car? And they're like, what? They're not going to buy you a car. Manuel says hello to Justing. 76 says good evening and happy Saturday. Clifford's here. Clifford says, hey there, watched one of your videos today. You're doing good work. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I try. Welcome to the show. Sand Viral says, sometimes I tell them I'm Canadian. Oh, see, then they might think less of you. You don't want to do that. That was a Rick joke. I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick on Rick, but we love him. He's great. Berths says, I got my first Amazon about an iPhone. I said, where the other 7 because I got octuplets and they're about to graduate from college and I'm going to have them bickering. That's funny. That's funny. Where's the other 7 of them? That's good. You know what's so crazy about the Amazon scam calls? I've gotten it so many times and it's ridiculous. They never change. It's always the same dollar amount. It's for the same iPhone or iMac products. And it's always being shipped to Albany, New York. You'd think after all the times they've called me and tried that scam, they'd stop, but they still do it. Even to today. I mean, not today, but I know I've gotten at least one in the last week. So it's crazy. Crazy. Darlene says, 80s here and only day it hasn't rained this week. Oh, I would love it if it rained. It hasn't rained. I think it rained last weekend, and that was it. That's how long it's been. Usually in the summer, it rains almost every day, but it hasn't in several days. But the worst part about here is it gets really hot, then it rains, and then it becomes the humidity is thick. It's like walking into a brick wall in some days. It's very, very not nice. Once again, another reason to stay inside. Rosie says, 110 degrees, OMG. You do all you need. Need some good old Scottish weather. When it gets too hot here, around 20 degrees Celsius, we all start to melt and wish we were for a good thunderstorm to clear the air. Oh, ain't that the truth? 110 degrees, yeah, well, trust me, I'm not outside in that.
Yeah.
I hear about it on the radio, but I'm not outside in it.
And that's what it feels like because of the humidity.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's usually in the low 90s. It can feel like 100 plus, and we've had days of that this week. So, Manuel says, "Good evening to Clifford. Happy Saturday night." Sand Viral says to Bertha's Octascam, laugh out loud. Rosie says, "Other than 80 degrees temperature, Darlene, that sounds like Scotland." Clifford says, "I live near the West Coast. No hurricanes." But maybe one day the big one, earthquake. Oh, that's one of those things you got to worry about down there. The thing I like about hurricanes, and I'm not saying I like hurricanes, but the thing I like about them is you can usually see them coming. You have time to prepare. You have time to be ready for them. You have time to get supplies. You have time to move to higher ground if you have to. Earthquakes, that crap just happens. But with hurricanes, we can see them coming. Tornadoes you don't see coming, but hurricanes, it's like that movie The Meg with the gigantic shark. The first Meg movie, my son went and saw it, and I said, "So how was it?" He says,
Jeez.
"It wasn't." He told me, he says, "It wasn't very, edge of your seat thrilling or scary because you see the thing coming from miles away. It's like a hurricane. You can see it coming." I don't know why I just brought up the Meg. It's weird, but oh well. Clifford also says, Manuel, hello there. Very good, very good. Manuel says hello to Bertha's. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Berths. I'm trying. All right. Berth says hello. Glenn says, would you rather have global warming or global cooling? Honestly, I could handle the cold a lot better than the heat. I've begged my wife to allow us to move someplace where it was cold all year round, and she's like, "That's like Alaska, is what you're describing," and she's not down with that.
In only certain parts of Alaska.
Yeah, and only certain parts of it. But I would like between 25, 30, freezing to 50s, like all year round. I'd be fine with that. But I don't think I could handle snow. You know, cold, yes. Snow, no.
Then you definitely don't want Alaska.
It definitely don't want.
There's times where you get snowed in Alaska and you can't go anywhere.
I have relatives in New England that get snowed in, and I look at the pictures, and part of me laughs because that'll never happen to us. But then part of me is like a little jealous because I'd love to use the excuse I can't come to work. I'm snowed in.
Well, they used to say we were headed for another ice age.
Yeah, it was when we were kids they were saying that.
Yeah, when we were real little, yeah.
Yeah. I've always said about being hot and being cold. With being cold, you can always add more layers. Being hot, you can only take off so much. You know? Avery's like, oh God, please don't put that image in my head. Manuel says, yes, please, Rosie Cottage, send me the rain. We need it. Excellent. Absolutely. Clifford says, Rosie College, I live in BC, Canada, in one of the towns in the interiors. A couple of years ago, it was 50.5 Celsius. That's 123 Fahrenheit. Wow. That's up there. Did you hear, Avery, I don't know if you heard about this on the news, but they recorded, it was either in Florida or someplace close to here, where the water temperature reached 110 degrees.
Oh, well, yeah.
It was a shallow area of water, but the ocean water does not normally get that hot. And it was really hot. And I'm like, wow. It's all going to heck. It's all going to heck. Manio says, Jaguars over Dallas, my buddy Drew. Excellent. I know when I right before the show, I just checked in just to see what the score was, and it was 14-10. And it's preseason. Nobody cares. Just as long as the main guys, everybody stays healthy, that's all we really want. We want to get some practice in, and we don't really care what the score is at the end. So, Sanviral says to Glenn, with global warming, I would get to see. Wait, hold on a second. With global warming, I would get to see polar bears. Well, yeah, if they travel down south, you could. I don't think I'd want to meet a polar bear, to be honest with you. The images I've seen of polar bears, they're huge. So, Andy's here. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
And they will hunt people.
Yeah, I bet they would.
No, they do. They do. They have.
Oh, jeez.
You are on. If a polar bear sees you, you are on the menu.
I would look like a big fat penguin to them, or a seal. I'd look like a big fat baby seal to them.
Yeah, I mean, there's this story I heard people telling, man. I think it was Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
So about these people got stranded on an iceberg, and a polar bear sees them.
Oh.
And the polar bear gets in the water, pops up on another iceberg, watches them, and then jumps down in the water, comes up on their iceberg, snatches one of them, takes them back to hit that other iceberg, and they have to watch the polar bear eat their friend.
Oh, jeez.
And it just picked them off. It just picks them off that way.
Dude, that would make a freaking scary ass movie.
Yeah.
Be like Jaws,
Yeah.
Andy says your Jags got lucky against the Cowboys, but it's only preseason. Yeah, well, Andy, you remember that game we played against them last year? That was a fantastic game. I recently watched the highlights to some of the Jaguar wins last year, and that one was one of my favorites. Yeah, we did get lucky. It was a good game, though. Manuel says, I hear on the radio playing old music. DJ Lady says that Louisiana people get scammed last year, 2022, for lots of money. Oh, I can believe it. Manuel, is Louisiana known for having a large elderly population? Is that like a retirement type place, Louisiana? Because Florida is well known for being a retirement state. I wonder if Louisiana is. That'd be interesting. Glass Bottles here says, "Hey, Ian, welcome to the show, my friend." Andy says, "Please, we need to see more rain, big time. El Nino is coming, so be patient with the southwest part of the USA." I haven't heard of any major storms on the Pacific side either, except for this one that's supposedly, you know, causing issues with the Maui fires. But I don't think that's a. They're only getting the winds from it. They're not getting any direct hits from it. So, oh, knock on wood, knock on wood. We don't want hurricanes to come, but every now and then I like a day off of work. So it's one way to get it. Rosie says to Clifford, 123, I will 123. I will never complain about our summers ever again. We get a bit worried if the rain stops. Laugh out loud. Such a rainy wee place we are. Rain's not bad. I think if I had to choose, I'd rather have cold and rain compared to heat and sun. I mean, that makes sense. That's what it is, rain and cold, but we get in the summertime, we get hot rain around here, where it's so hot outside, the rain is uncomfortable because it's hot.
And then the sun comes back out and evaporates everything. It makes it even more humid.
It makes it even more humid. Yeah,
it's like a sauna outside.
Yes, absolutely.
You're dripping sweat. Nothing's evaporating, and you just feel
your whole body feels sticky. That's right.
You're sticky everywhere, especially where. Sticking to your leg.
You're talking to two guys who used to have jobs with a lot of manual work, between what we were doing, and that was how our day ended. Where you're like, yeah. Thank God we don't do that anymore, right?
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it either. Cross says, "Hey to Clifford." He says, "I'm in Canada too. I'm in Hamilton, Ontario." It's one of those really small towns. There's only like 10 people. Isn't that right? Hamilton?
No.
I'm sure it's a vibrant city. I just don't know anything. Manuel says, "Hello, Glass Bottle." Says, "Happy Saturday night." Darlene says, "I guess it's a research company and advertising businesses. Don't know why they'd call us." That's weird. Advertising business, huh? A research company. Okay. Well, I did recently get a couple of those ones where they're calling about businesses trying to get the ERC, the employee retention credit from the government. And they tell you it's for businesses with 5 or more W-2 employees. Well, I don't have any W-2 employees, so I don't know why they're calling me in the first place. But they're literally just calling every business and saying, "Hey, we're going to help you get this thing." And it's like, where'd you get my number from? How'd you get my number to call me? Because if you've got a record of me being a business, that's perfectly fine. But I've never had a W-2 employee, so I don't qualify. But they call anyway. Rick says, "Yes, you do mean to pick on me. Did you get that parcel out yet?" "No, I didn't. It's still sitting right here."
Oh my God, Andrew, I'm ashamed of you.
Well, I told him they were going to be for his birthday. I didn't tell him which birthday.
Just send them.
I know. I honestly, I haven't been to the post office in weeks. But Rick, they're sitting right here. I got your email. I got your address. I promise you, there will come a day.
Someday.
I haven't forgotten about him, damn it. I just haven't done it yet. Sorry, Rick. I still love you, man. I do. Jim says...
Really? You got a messed up way of showing it.
Avery?
Yes?
Tell Rick right now how much you sent me money for some comics. And how long did it take me to send those out to you? And did I ever put them in the mail?
No. You dropped them off as you were driving by. Making a long trip.
Months later.
Yeah, like
months later.
Like a month later.
Yeah, so that's how bad I am. So, Rick, you'll just have to wait till I'm coming through Hamilton, and I
sent him money.
And he sent me money. I know, I'm horrible. All right, let me get back to the chat.
All
Jim
right.
says, well, we have been getting 81 to 86 degrees this week with one bad thunderstorm. Oh, man. See, a bad thunderstorm's not good. Rain is okay. Justin76 says, good evening to Manuel. Bill's here. Hey, Bill, how's it going? He says, watch those Canadian jokes. My dad was Canadian, LOL. Yes, but 99.9% of my Canadian jokes are for the benefit of my good friend Rick, and he's still my friend. So he doesn't take. Hopefully, he doesn't take offense to him.
I don't know, man.
I try really hard.
Send him stuff, man.
I know. I got to keep bribing him and keep him on my good side because the last thing I want is for him to invade our country.
No, Rick's coming to America. Actually, I think he's coming to a thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
With Dillard.
Oh, okay.
Right? Am I right, Rick?
That'd be very cool if that happened. Manuel says, "Hey to Andy Lang. El Nino he brings the El Nino bring the weather." Okay. Manuel says to Bill, happy Saturday night. Glass Bottle says their scripts are so outdated, we know them by heart. Yes, it is true. That's the funny thing. You'd think these scammers would have at least gotten new scripts. Even go to AI, have AI write them up for them. They still use the same old, You know what's probably happened? You know what probably happened is at one point, the scam call center bosses paid for some type of scripting program, and then as soon as everybody learned the script, they turned it off and said, "We'll just stick with that." And that was back in 1993. It's a good possibility. Maybe not 93, maybe 2015, but they've been using the same script for many years. So,
yeah. Bill
says hello to Manuel. Clifford says Cross Comics, cool. I'm in Abbotsford, British Columbia. Okay. Bill says 104 in South Texas and drought. Drought's horrible. Ooh. 104 is not good either, but please stay inside and stay safe, Bill. Manuel says,
I saw something interesting that's going to be happening in Texas, maybe. I don't know how serious it is.
Oh, yeah?
But Brandon Herrera said he's going to be running for Congress.
Brandon Herrera?
The 8K guy. He's a YouTuber.
Why is that? Yeah, that name sounded familiar, but...
I'm like, man, I kind of wish I lived in Texas. I'd vote for if I lived in where he's running.
Yeah. Well, you can always donate money.
I just might, actually. If he's serious, yeah.
Hey, do what you want to do. You're free to do it, at least for the moment. Manuel says, you see TV about the Hawaiian wildfires? Yes. Actually, one of the videos I saw was like the aftermath, where they had they were showing some cars in the road that were just nothing but like covered completely in ash. All the tires had exploded and they were all burnt out. It's like, oh man, my heart goes out to the people in Hawaii. And I've been told that if you want to and you're able to, the Hawaiian Red Cross is a good organization to donate to because they're on the ground and they're helping people as we speak. So if anybody wants to donate or at least try to help out, the Hawaiian Red Cross. And I don't know, I'm sure they have their own website. I'm sure there's plenty of links out there. But I've been told, or at least I've heard, that that's a on the ground organization that's helping out as we speak. So if anybody out there, feel free. Don't fall for anybody calling you up about donations. And that hasn't happened yet. At least I haven't gotten any of those calls, but it's coming. They take any type of tragedy, they take any type of event that's happening in the world, and they will try to find a way to use it to scam people. So the first moment I get a call where it's a Indian sounding guy saying they're calling about helping out the people in Hawaii, I'm going to go ballistic because they're going to try to do that eventually. They probably have already started it. But all right. Thank you, Manuel, for bringing that up, and I'm glad I was able to say my 2 cents worth for anybody out there who cares. Darlene says, Albany is not far from us. I would tell them I could pick up the iPhones and save them the shipping. That's good. That's good. Glenn says, nothing like living in Florida, the vegetable steamer state. Yes, there are days where it is exactly
yes,
like.
Exactly.
I like your reference to saunas, but it's like old people saunas.
Yeah.
You know, isn't there isn't it it's not a Roman bath. It's not a Russian bath. What is it called where the old guys go in the steam room?
It's a sauna.
Yeah, but there's like a specific, you know.
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. I was going there and couldn't do it. Sorry, guys. Rosie says a big storm in Scotland is usually marked by firemen trying to retrieve a large trampoline from a tree. Honestly, Google it. No idea how it happens, but there it is, and it happens so often. That's funny. That's funny. Glass Bottle says, I was in Cali when the Northridge earthquake happened and the palm trees were swinging hard and car alarms were going off. I've never been in an earthquake, but I think that would scare the ever-living crap out of me, especially if I wasn't on the ground. If I was anywhere on like
I would absolutely poop myself.
Oh,
yeah. No doubt. I'd fill my shorts.
Yep. Oh. Clifford says, you want a place that doesn't get too warm or hot? I hear Hawaii is pretty consistent. Bad. He says, or cold, I mean. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Well, I've heard that Hawaii, California, there's parts of California that the temperatures in some of those areas are consistent year round. But there's no freaking way you're going to get me to go to California, not to live. Absolutely not. Manuel says, Rosie College, I'm doing great this weekend. Fantastic. Darlene says, we get several feet of snow some winter. See, I'd be scared of snow. You know, I'd like the cold, but I don't think I could handle the snow. Cross says, if you are snowed so you can't go to work, then your work is most likely closed as well. Well, that would be great if I didn't already work from home. So I can't use that as an excuse. I wish I could, but I can't. Craig says, like button, please. Oh, yeah. Everybody, if you have a moment, click the like button. You know, I've been told it helps with the algorithms. I don't know. Sure. Manuel says, good evening, Cross Comics. Happy Saturday night. Tim's here. Tim says hello from Kentucky. Hey, Tim, how's it going? How's the weather in Kentucky? Since we're talking about weather tonight, that seems to be our big topic. Manuel says hey to Craig. Manuel says hello to Tim. Craig says hey to Manuel. Rick says your fate would be sealed. I'm sure it has something to do with something stupid I said earlier. Manuel says Drew, preseason. Yes. Oh, how old is that? Oh, geez, I'm 14 minutes behind. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up. Tim says hello, everyone, from a hot and humid day. We know what you're talking about. Clifford says polar bears routinely hunt humans. They are one of the few animals on Earth that do. That's why if you go to northern Canada, you take a big gun. Yes, I could see that completely. What, do they have polar bears in northern Canada?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, Canada,
okay.
Alaska.
Oh, okay. Well, what do I know?
I'm got brown bears too.
I'm not a bear aficionado, so I don't know. So.
They got some big grizzly bears too that'll eat you.
Did you ever see the that one with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant?
The Revenant? I've never watched it.
Oh, the bear scene, man, that's intense. You just Google the bear scene because it's very. I know it's.
I'm not Googling the bear scene. That's not happening.
I almost got him. I wasn't even trying. I wasn't even trying.
Oh no! Whatever you do, chat, don't you Google the bear
scene
either. You're not gonna. Well, you might like what happens. I'm not judging, but just don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Incognito mode.
Incognito, absolutely.
with a VPN.
with a couple of VPNs. Oh, goodness gracious.
Canada goes up to the North Pole.
It does? Well, yeah, I'm assuming so. I mean, I've never been there. So Rick's going to have to tell us for sure if he's ever seen a polar bear. So Manuel says, yes, do lots of retirement, my buddy Drew. Oh, okay. Louisiana has a lot of retirement homes and older people. Okay. Rosie says, hello from Dunbartonshire, Tim Clifford. Please tell me you're kidding. Polar bears are supposed to be adorable. They sit on icebergs and eat mints. I remember the ads on TV. I think they also drink Coca-Cola last time I checked.
Yeah, that's what commercials do. Polar bears and commercials do. Real polar bears will eat you.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sand Viral says to Rosie's College, they drink Coke too. Yes, they do. Craig says, I didn't know about the polar bears. Dang. Okay. Important safety tip. Don't cross the streams. Thanks, Egon. Rosie says, sad rival. You're right. They do. Andy says, yes, Manuel, El Nino, but Drew doesn't believe in it yet. But Drew doesn't believe it yet. Well, there's a lot of things I don't believe until I see it with my own eyes. Rosie says, Craig, LOL, I love Ghostbusters. Been a while since I watched. Okay, have to get the DVDs out. You know, now that I think about it.
That's a great movie.
Now that I think about it, I got to see if I got a copy in the store. Maybe I'll put that on while I'm working tomorrow. So that's a good one to watch.
The next time someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Rick says Hamilton has over 500,000 people. Now, how many of them are still living?
Stop.
Manuel says, I love your videos from comic books. I watched videos this morning. Awesome comic books. Okay, excellent. Yep, I made 2 videos of comics that went into the store. I feel so bad. Because I literally got them last weekend, and I waited till Friday night to make the videos. I should have made them earlier, but sometimes I just get so busy I forget to do the things I need to do. Glenn says, survey calls are exempt from the DNC list. Really? Survey calls are. Trying to remember. I know. I was trying to see who used the survey call line on me recently. It was the Comcast scammers that said they were doing a survey call. But yeah, I don't think I've gotten any other survey calls.
Would you like to take a survey?
Yeah. I usually just hang up on those. Bill says, it's humid bricks stick to my... It's so humid, bricks stick to my skin. Ugh, it sounds horrible. Nigella's here. Hey, how's it going? Says, good evening. Welcome to the show. Glass Bottle says, stop outsourcing to India because they sell your info to the scammers. Yes, I can absolutely believe that. I was told when I worked for a credit card company, that was one of the jobs I did for half my life. And when I was working in the security department, we were being trained by people that worked on the security team. And one story they told us was about a young lady that they hired who literally sat there at her desk for an entire day and was just screen printing customers' information. And then they stopped her. She wasn't able to get out of the building with it, but she literally was trying to steal customers' data. Just like bring up an account, screen print it, bring up another account, screen. She literally thought she could get away with that, which is crazy. But they stopped her. But people, they're all out there. Everybody's out there trying to get your information. Yeah. So Rosie says hi to Nigella. Cross says someday over the rainbow. I wonder if he's talking about the polar bears at that point. Manuel says good evening to Nigella. Cross says, well, I don't think I will be driving up here I don't think you will be driving up here anytime. Oh, he's still talking about taking these videos. Hey, you never know. Hamilton is on my list of places in Canada to go visit. I have no clue where it's at, but it's on my list. It's other than maybe Ontario. Those are the only 2 names I can remember of Canada cities. So I'll try to remember that. Bill says send him some pennies. Not sure what he's referring to there. I know it was probably something. It was a while ago. So it was 12 minutes ago. So I don't know what we were talking about 12 minutes ago. Rosie says to Jim, everyone is safe after the storm and that it helps cool the temps a wee bit. That is true. Andy says, him, I'd send it. Craig says to Rosie, my favorite Ghostbusters to answer the call with the girls is answer the call with the girls. My favorite Ghostbuster is answer the call with the girls. Answer the call with the girls. Are you talking about the Ghostbusters movie with all the girls in it? I'm sure that's not what he's talking about.
Oh no, that one's terrible.
Yeah. Rick says, yeah, gonna be in LA around September 17th and Minneapolis around September 30th and Ethel, Massachusetts around October 4th of this year. Oh, wow.
Yay.
Fantastic. Well, come on down. We'll allow you to come on. We'll allow you to cross the border. I don't know if we'll let you go back. We might like you too much and make you stay. You know, it's always a possibility. I noticed he said California, Minneapolis, and Massachusetts. None of those are Florida.
No.
You dork. You should come to Florida. Rosie says, Canada is fabulous. How could any place who have a whole area called New Scotland not be amazing? Okay, I'm sure there's a Scotland here in the States somewhere. I mean, we've got several Jacksonvilles, so I'm sure there's a Scotland or a New Scotland somewhere here. I may have to look that up. Clifford says to Rosie, oh no, you don't want to get too close to one. They aren't so cute when they're chewing on you. Talking about the polar bears.
Yeah.
Clark says, hey, sorry I'm late. Hey, Clark, no problem. Welcome to the show. He said that 14 minutes ago. So sorry, Clark. You know me. I get behind. Glenn says, funny when they call and you start reading their script to them. I've actually like somebody will call and say something and I'll say, you mean the one about this and this and this? And they're like, they either get annoyed or they get lost in their own script because you already know it. It's pretty funny. I like derailing them from their script, and asking questions is the best way to do that. Sand Viral says, maybe tell them you work for Medicare, Medicaid. Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Rosie says to Clifford, I'd be a Rosie sandwich. I'm helpless at running. She's talking about from the polar bears.
Yeah.
Manuel says hello to Clark.
Bears are pretty fast for as big as they are.
Oh, yeah. Rosie says hi to Clark. Manuel says, you're very welcome, my friend Drew. Excellent, excellent. B. Bernie B says, Shivitz.
Besides, you don't have to be the fastest person. You have to be not
just be faster than the other person. Yeah, well, yeah. If any of you out there have ever watched The Walking Dead, we had a very serious conversation. I don't know how serious it was. We had a very serious conversation one time, me and Avery and my son Mike, and I was telling him I would be Rick, and Avery would be Daryl, and Avery's like, no, you wouldn't be Rick, you'd be Otis. And if anybody's seen the show, Otis was one of the ones that one of the guys like kneecapped or something in order to get away from the zombies.
Yeah.
And then I had to admit, yeah, I'd probably be an Otis.
Yeah. It's like, no. I'm going to shoot you in the leg so I can get away and the zombies eat you.
That's right. You don't have to be faster than the polar bear. You just have to be faster than me.
Yeah.
Clifford says a Turkish bath. That's what I was going for. A Turkish bath. Florida is the Turkish bath of the world. Nigella also said Turkish bath. They were on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where me, I'm dumb. So Manuel says Louisiana sugarcane farmers need water. I can believe it. Stan's here. Hey Stan, how's it going? Says Florida equals God's waiting room. Yep, I've heard that before too. Clark says hello to Manuel. Clark says hey to Rosie's. Rosie says hi to Clark. Bill says Samaritan's Purse is also a great organization helping out all over the world. It is run by Billy Graham's son, Franklin. They were here after Hurricane Harvey helping many people. Okay, fantastic. That's a good one then. Cross says Canada goes up to the North Pole. Well, it's good to know. Thank you, Rick. Manuel says, hello, Avery. Good evening.
Hello.
Glenn says, don't bears also eat Klondike bars? I think they do. Cross says, yes, I've seen a polar bear on TV. Let us know if you start to see them walking down the street. So we really need an on-site reporter reporting on that. So if you see them walking down your street, let us know. Clifford says, laugh out loud. I don't think there are polar bears in Hamilton. Hey, you never know. Darlene says, I saw the making of the bear scene. Yes, I've seen that as well. It's all digitally. The majority of it's digital, but damn, they made it look so realistic.
Wait,
to the point where you don't want to go anywhere near a bear, ever. You know. Cross says all of them are still living. Of the 500,000 people. Okay, very good. Darlene says, we brown bears stroll down our road. One spread a bag of garbage all over the yard the other day. Oh, jeez. See, I've seen videos of bears, and all I think to myself is, I can outrun that thing. I think I'm dreaming. But when I see these videos, I think to myself, I'm not as fat as that bear. I should be able to outrun it.
You should have you seen videos of charging grizzlies?
No, but I'm pretty sure they're out there.
Oh yeah, I've seen them, and those things cover a lot of ground real fast.
Yeah, I would cover a lot of ground real fast too when the bear caught up to me.
Some of the videos I saw, the bear stopped dead at their feet, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was multiple people shooting it.
Oh jeez.
And it just hit the ground and slid it to their feet.
Like in the movies, huh?
Yeah, and this bear was still, it was a pretty good ways away when it started charging, and it covered a lot of ground fast.
All right, let me get back to the chat. Rosie says, okay, what are Klondike bars? You don't know what a Klondike bar is? Are they sweeties like Twixes or Mars bars? Do bears really eat them? Or if I'm running away with a bear, would that distract them? Klondike bars are ice cream sandwiches covered in chocolate. Yeah. They're ice cream sandwiches with like a hard chocolate shell. And there used to be commercials with polar bears and Klondike bars. Actually, isn't the polar bear like the mascot?
It's on the
Klondike bar. Yeah. And you get some of them with chocolate and nuts. I hate the ones with nuts. But the sandwiches are usually so big that they start to melt before you get finished with them. So I'm not a fan of Klondike bars. My wife enjoys them.
They're smaller than they used to be.
They make mini ones now, I think. So.
No, they're just smaller than they used to be.
Well, maybe that's it.
They used to be pretty big.
Sand Viral says we had a mountain lion here in the eastern Nebraska last week. Oh, boy. Clifford says Ontario isn't a city, it's a province. Hamilton is in it. Oh, okay. Ontario isn't a city, it's a province. Hamilton is in it. So Hamilton is in the Ontario. Okay, so Ontario is not, it's like I guess, well, he says Providence. I'm thinking like a state. Where Hamilton is like a city within it.
Providence and province are two different things.
Province, okay. Well, I'm from New England, or I'm originally from New England, so Providence. You know, go check with your mother. Go talk to your mother.
Yeah, but those are two different words.
Yeah, I know. But I'm getting them confused, and that's the reason why is what I'm saying. Rosie says, a mountain lion must have been hungry to go where there are people. Poor wee soul. She says that now until mountain lions.
Wait until you
after your cat.
Mountain lions are all over America. So.
Oh yeah. Usually don't see them though. If they come out at night, they're not usually the ones going through your trash. Those are usually raccoons in this area. So.
Yeah.
Cross says Hamilton
has large cats all over America, different ones.
Yeah. Cross says Hamilton is in the province of Ontario. He said, send pennies because Canadians don't have physical pennies. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I've been told about my trip to Aruba is that when they make change, if you pay them in dollar bills, they'll accept American money, but they give you back the change with Aruban coins. They don't use bills. They use all coins. So if your change was $20, they would literally give you a $20 coin. And I've been told to be careful because you can confuse like a $20 one with something else, and be careful what you're doing. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that's like. But I've been told in Aruba they use coins as their main currency. So Bill says Canadians are out of pennies. So yes, that's what he says. Bill says, what comic book should I keep an eye out for? To be honest with you, the best comics right now are the ones from the 80s and 90s. This current crop of comics, there's a lot of crap out there. There's some independent books that are very interesting, but when it comes to comics in general, the stuff from the 80s and the 90s and even before that are a lot of fun. So if you're out there looking for books, that's what I would recommend. Clifford says, yes, Nova Scotia is Latin for New Scotland. Oh, really? Okay. I'm pretty sure there's Nova Scotia in these here parts somewhere. Cross says, Rosie talks about the province of Nova Scotia. It means New Scotland. Okay. These two guys are on the same page. Obviously, Clifford and Cross are on the same page. So Andy says, hey, I had a scam call, bought a... all right, hold on a second. Hey, I'd had scam call Voight, a cable service starting with the letters S. Anyway, I'd had to send to Frisco TV, which is past Dallas. It was supposed to be money order, but it wasn't. Okay, Andy, I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to say there, but I think I got most of that. They wanted you to pay with a money. That's weird. Yeah, Avery, I had one of the Comcast scammers wanted me to pay my bill with an eBay gift card. That's completely and utterly legitimate. That's exactly how you're supposed to pay your cable bill.
That's how I pay all my bills. Amazon.
That's how you pay all of them. That's right.
That's how you pay the e-thoughts.
It's right. That's right. You bad boy. Rosie says to Clifford, I remember being ridiculously happy at school when I first found out there was a whole other Scotland in Canada. Sand Viral says the Chicago Bears are slow. Well, you know what? If they were called the Polar Bears, they'd probably be a little bit more dangerous. But
has anyone paid attention to the Bears since the days of the fridge?
I remember Refrigerator Perry.
Exactly.
And one of the only reasons why I remember him is because they made him into a G.I. Joe action figure.
They did. They did.
And he had his weapon of choice was like a handheld chain that had a football on the end of it.
Yeah. Well, there was also the Saturday Night Live bit where they were the Bears, the Bulls, the Bears, the Bulls, the Bears, the Bulls, the Bears, the Bulls.
Wasn't it the Bears Shuffle, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Clifford says to Rosie, yeah, I've had it. I've never been there though. The country is really big, and it's on the other side. Okay. Cross says, oh, I also seen polar bears in the zoo. Oh, okay, very good. I'm
Don't be one of the people that falls into the enclosure, please.
And wants to take a selfie with the polar bear.
Yeah, don't.
Jim says, Drew, next time those scammers call, tell them FBI. This is Agent Drew with the fraud and scam line. I bet they hang up. Oh, I bet they would. I may have to try that sometime.
Yeah, and then they got you for impersonating an officer.
No, yeah, maybe.
Impersonating a federal agent.
Andy says it was a letter saying you're a big scammer. Bill says grizzlies are the new in the new Predator movie. Oh, I think I remember that. Cross says the Bears have more muscle than you, Andrew. That is true. Oh, the dog is barking. Somebody's got to be here in the house. Somebody's got to be visiting. Bill says, I would like to see a fight between a silverback and a grizzly. Ooh, that could be the next, shark versus octopus type movie, Tim says, about 10 years ago, I was rattled out of bed due to an earthquake. Oh, boy. Were you on the first floor of the building, or were you higher up? Because I think that would give me a heart attack right there. Manuel says, I live in Alaska in 1991 through 1999 years ago. And you left it behind? Insane. Glass Bottle says Bobcats in Wisconsin. Oh boy. Manuel says I worked in Alaska years ago, my friend Drew. Okay. Tim says I live about 60 miles from North Madrid fault line. It's not too active. Okay, well, that's a good thing then, right? Cross says, oh, it's a reason to come to Hamilton because of me. Oh, absolutely. I would come to Hamilton only for you, Rick. Unless there's something else there we need to see. Is there like a really big comic convention that comes there every year? Hint, hint. Tell me more. Tell me more. Did she put up a fight? Okay. Rosie says to Clifford, from John O'Groats in Scotland to Land's End, the whole distance from one end of the UK to another is only 837 miles, probably smaller than most states or territories. Yeah, well, from my trip a few weeks ago, from Jacksonville to Missouri was 1,038 miles, or 1,083 miles. So, I could do the whole distance of Scotland in a day probably. Cross says keep an eye on the Canadian Shield by Cross Comics. Absolutely. Glass Bottle says Canadian pennies are scattered all over the U.S. Laugh out loud. Bill says, so I wonder if Canada is going to melt down all their pennies. Clifford says British Columbia alone is 640 miles west to east, or 800 or so miles north to south. It's a province, though, not a state. Okay, gotcha. Rosie says to Tim, that is a scary way to wake up with an earthquake. Yep. Darlene says Bobcats are here in New Hampshire too. People have gotten pics of them in their yards. I don't think I've come across bobcats before down here. Armadillos, raccoons, and those damn frickin' Canadian geese. Rick, if you don't get your ass down here and take all those Canadian geese back up with you, you know what? As soon as you get down here and do that is when I'll put those DVDs and Blu-rays in the mail. I know. Those Canadian geese are annoying. Cross says, I was in Nova Scotia when I was young. My grandfather and my mom were from there. Okay. Tim says to Rosie's, I took down all of my wife's decorations after that over the bed. Tim says to Rosie's cottage, I took down all of my wife's decorations after that over the bed. The earthquake.
Earthquake. Yeah, stuff falling on your head. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
I don't think I have anything that's hanging over my bed, to be honest with you. Not currently. I have a clock that's on the wall, but it's actually on the side. It's not over the bed, but yeah. Manuel says, "Hey, I see a big fat cat in your office. Live stream friend. Yes, that's Regal. When I got home from the store, I had a bin, a box, not a plastic one that had some Legos in it, and I was getting ready to empty them out to go through them, and I had to run to the bathroom. And when I came back, she was sleeping in the box, and so I let her stay. And now she's currently hanging out in the room. See, there she is. That's Regal. She's a pretty princess. Let's see, where are we at? Bill sends smiley faces. Tim says my house is a single floor. Okay, well I don't know if that's better or not, but I think I could handle that a little bit better than All right. Avery's reminding me we're already over, so let me try to hurry up through these.
That's in the private chat to be private.
Yeah, how long ago did you said that?
Just a couple minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, at least I'm caught up on the private chat.
It's the only thing in the private chat.
Thank you, Avery. I'll hurry it up. Darling, back in the 70s, our neighbor's father was killed by a bear. Oh, no.
Oh, damn.
Oh, geez. What kind of bear was it? Do you know? I'm sure it wasn't a polar bear.
Probably a brown bear.
Yeah.
Because they tend to be the most aggressive.
Rosie says Scotland and the UK actually are pretty small, I suppose, to the scheme of things. Just as well, I'm only 5'2". That's short. And that's shorter than me. Actually, I think you know
That's
who?
we.
I think Ayla is 5'2", because I'm 5'4", and she's just a little bit shorter than me.
You're 5'4"?
Or am I 5'6"? Freaking A! I'd have to look at my driver's license to know for sure. I think I'm 5. I think I'm 5'6". My wife might be 5'4". Freaking A! I don't know. Cross says, yes, this is a Comic-Con in Hamilton. I have a table for it for September 20th. Okay, September 23rd is a little too close for me to make plans. But Cross, we got to talk about it. One of these days, I'm going to have to visit Canada. I'd be willing to visit Canada just to hang out with you and go to a comic book convention. That would be cool. Craig says, my scammers are on to me. They are hanging up on me from my voice recognition. I'm sure of it. They are obviously tired of hearing me try to get them to go to Narcotics Anonymous meetings. Very good, very good. Let's see. Coolio Radios here says, good evening, all. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Clifford says to Rosie's Cottage, yeah, BC is almost 4 times bigger, but only 5 million people there. We laugh out loud. Rosie says to Tim, I think I'll keep everything precise, all wrapped in bubble wrap. I don't know. Do they get, I mean, you probably have had hurricanes in Scotland, maybe. I don't know. But do you get earthquakes too? What kind of natural disasters does Scotland get? You know? I'd be curious. Sandviro says, tie on the DVDs to the Canadian Goose and
British.
He'll get them. Tie the DVDs to the Canadian Geese and he'll get them. No, those freaking things don't fly. They like to waddle around the streets and block cars. Very rarely do you see them flying around here. I know they can. They just pretend like they're too good and don't have to. Cross says Andrew really needs to learn to read better. Yeah, tell me about it. Manuel says, good evening, Coolio Radio. Happy Saturday. Rosie's Cottage says to Clifford, the population of Scotland is just a little over 5 million. Darlene says, geese have been flying over our house the past 2 days. Craig says, we'll have black beans on the campus of the college here in the middle of town in Conway, Arkansas. Animal control had to tranquilize it and take it back to the wild. Wow. We had black bears. Oh, boy. Andy says, I love the scam call the other either yesterday or Thursday about the cursing at you. Said, yes, they will call back. And they have. And they have. I know exactly which one you're talking about, and they have called back. Love it. Bill says, what do you think of Blade Runner 2049? I was okay with it. It was very slow at points.
It was pretty mid.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, the first one was kind of over my head when I first saw it as a kid. This one was a little over my head as well. But there was enough about it that I enjoyed it. So, but not.
I thought it was pretty meh.
I do not own it, or do I own it on Steelbook case? I don't think I do. So, there you go. Rosie says, fur baby hugs to the beautiful fur baby. See that, Regal? Somebody out there loves you. She's a pain in the butt, but I love her. Clifford says to Rosie, yeah, we have more wilderness than England does. We have a whole lot of it over here. Darlene says, my preemie son is 32 now and 5'11". Oh, wow. Actually, my son was born, I think he was 3 weeks early. He was a little early, but he was a big baby. He was 9 pounds, 14 ounces, and he's a big boy. He's taller than me, bigger than me. So Manuel says, I'm 5'11" tall. Really? Wow. You tall people. Love it. Love it. Rosie says, they're wasting trees right now to make election nonsense to push through our doors. I've asked the postman to just put it all right into the recycle bin, Clifford. I hear you on that. Glass Bottle says, I use Hindi cuss words, then add support how many I help you, and they hang up. The scammers know I will abuse them. Well, very good. Rosie says, not sure about hurricanes, Drew, but we get storms, but usually the damage is limited to trampolines being stuck in trees. Okay. Jim says, I'm 5'10". You got me by an inch, to Manuel. Darlene says, my older son is 5'8". I don't know how tall Mike is. I know he's taller than me.
Mike's about my height.
He's about your height, so he's not 6 foot, but he's definitely taller than me.
No, Mike's about my height, and I'm 6'3".
Well, then he's got to be maybe 6 feet.
He's he's somewhere between 6 and 6'2".
I'll have to ask him. Bill says, I love watching your pet videos on YouTube. They're funny. Yeah, they love to join me from time to time. Cross says, I'm 5'7". Damn, everybody's taller than me.
Everybody's weed
except
to
for
me.
Rosie.
Everybody's little.
Tim says, tornadoes in our distance is our disaster of choice here in Kentucky. Okay, gotcha. Tornadoes. Darlene says, Nelson was born 24 weeks at 1 pound, 14 ounces. Holy crap. And he's now 32? Excellent. Very good. Very good. 24 weeks. Wow. Glenn says, need to start doing 1.5 hour chats. Good eve. Have great week. Yeah, I know. And Glenn says, 6 foot here. Okay, excellent. Everybody's taller than me. Me and Rosie's. Clifford says, I'm 5'11". I consider that a nice height, can reach the high shelves and not too cramped on an airplane. My daughter's fiance, I think he's 6'5" or 6'6". He's super tall. He's super tall. That's why my wife and I are both hoping. And my daughter's short, and he's tall. And we're hoping that whatever grandchildren we have, can at least break the 5'5" barrier, 5'6" barrier. It's a good chance it'll happen, but we're hoping for it. So, Sandy's here. Sandy says, just to make you feel better, Drew, I'm 5'4". Okay, well then you're like right there with me. Sand Viral says, almost caught up. Yeah, I'm almost there. I got one more to read and then I'm wrapping up. Rosie says, so tiny and precious, Darlene. They grew up fast. Absolutely. All right. Woo! We did it. We caught up. All right, everybody. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I hope you have a fantastic week next week. Just a reminder, I will not be live streaming next Saturday. I am going to release a video at 8 p.m. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I still haven't decided. I still got like 2.5 days left before I leave, walk out the door. So I'll have something up for you guys. I may try to do that premiere thing so that you guys can actually chit chat with each other if you want. But I thank you all for joining me. Avery, once again, thank you so much for coming in. And I hope you all had a good time. And we'll see you again soon. Like I said, no next Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'll be back. I'll be sharing stories with you. We'll have a great time. And I appreciate everybody who comes in. And as always, if you get calls like the ones I get, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. And if you do screw with them, record it and share with everybody. So screw and share. That's so